Hey there, guys. I'm Stewie.
And I'm Andy.
And this is Stu and Andy starring in It's
All Downhill From Here.
Oh, boy. Here we go. Whew. Okay. So, this is episode 1, obviously the pilot. And right now we're starting this. You know, we're kind of doing our own thing. And my inspiration for this actually was I like to talk a lot. You know, sometimes I get a little annoying. I'm not gonna lie, and just talk your face off for hours. But it's like, but it's like, you know what? Like, I've noticed I can have some pretty good conversations, and Andy was one of those people I can talk to pretty good. And I'm like, you know what? Like,
deep talks.
Yeah, deep talk. And it's like, why not bring that to the air? Why not bring that to YouTube, to Spotify? Why not, like,
to all your streaming platforms around the area?
Spotify, anyways.
Apple Music.
But no, it's just something cool, something positive, something we wanted to try out, you know. And we've been talking about it for a little while now. And yeah, my inspiration is just like, you know, I like talking about stuff with people. I like bringing out the vibe. I like recollecting on the past and things that we've done, and I like thinking about the things that we're going to do in the future. Like, and I just want to talk about it. So
it's a healthy outlet of how to let it out, you know.
Yeah, pretty much, you know.
Exactly.
It's very good.
And then when it comes to like my inspiration for all this, like obviously you have the classic podcast, you got the Joe Rogan Experience. Not like I'm like one of those dudes that like, oh, I love Joe Rogan, you know, he's like the best guy ever. I'm not like one of those people, but like it's good to listen to podcasts like that where it's like you get interesting people on there, you get good talks, you get very good, I don't know, stuff to fall asleep to even too as well. It's kind of nice falling asleep to podcasts, but you could take that kind of formula, make it your own kind of local flavor, having people you kind of know, and then hearing their experiences and their opinions and all that kind of stuff, plus seeing what they can do in Saskatchewan as well too, because Saskatchewan is a province where you think it's very boring, but there's a couple of things you could do if you look a little bit beyond the blinders there. So you make sure we can kind of explore that kind of outlet. Hopefully in the future, that'd be the best for sure.
That would be pretty cool. Like, I mean, like this past weekend, I actually just went to Saskatoon with a good friend of mine, and I've been to Saskatoon tons of times. I used to wrestle. I was there all the time for wrestling. I have family there. We hung out with family there often, and it's like every time I'd go, just hanging out with family. It was sports, and it was like I didn't really get to experience Saskatoon for what it really was, but what I found kind of interesting is I went with this friend, and we didn't, unfortunately the clubs are shut down, so we couldn't go clubbing, we couldn't go drinking and stuff, but like I realized, like, man, like it was so much better to just go there and experience the place. Like yeah, drink is fine, and yeah, shopping is cool, whatever, but like
the basics.
Going to like the zoo, like my friend Riley, she didn't know there was a zoo. And I was like,
I didn't even know there's a zoo there too either as well.
And it's like, okay, well, let's go check out this zoo then. So we went and checked out the zoo, and then went to this Western Development Museum. And I've been taught, like, my friends in class, everyone, they're probably getting annoyed because I was so excited to go to this museum because, like, at first, like, Riley mentioned it, and I was like, oh, this is just gonna be, it's a museum. Like, who cares, right? But I walk in there, and this freaking thing, like, all you guys at home, like, search it up. Saskatoon's Western Development Museum. No lie. It looks like a Western town, man. Like, you go into that place, and it's like a Western town. It is so unique, so fascinating. Like, you can actually walk into, like, the actual, like, buildings they got set up, and they got, like, different things set up. Like, there was a ironsmith place. There was a funeral home. That was kind of creepy.
Are we talking like a saloon as well, too?
Yeah.
Like there was Red Dead Redemption type beat?
Yeah, actually, no, like, legit. I'm getting to that, though. It was kind of cool because I went there, and I'm actually becoming a diesel mechanic. So I was going through some of these parts here, and like there was a certain part dedicated to like old farm equipment, like steam engines and stuff. And to see I was talking to my teacher today, seeing some of that stuff was so fascinating. Like you see these massive contraptions that didn't even know exist, and the engines are the size of my car. The thing's only producing 60 horsepower, and the retrospective of things, like my little Grand Am, that produces 135, and it's like I could pick up that engine. It's so small compared to these massive things. So like going in there and experiencing history and like being in, like just watching how we've grown as a human race and like seeing how technology's developed and seeing where it all started. It's like it's quite a humbling experience, and honestly I found it very fascinating. So I was talking to Riley about it the whole way back. It was like
we were only in there the entire time.
Like what?
Just nerding out the entire
time.
No,
literally, because it was so much fun. Like we didn't get hammered, we didn't get drunk, we didn't do any of that stuff. Like we just went and experienced something genuinely cool. And just experiencing that was so nice. It was so fulfilling. We were only there for one night and one day. And at the end, we met up with some of our old friends and had a good conversation. And then we left. And it's like, I want to do that more, you know? Like, I was talking to you on the phone, actually, when I was coming back. I was like, I want to do that more. I want to, like, go around and experience it. Like, yeah, go to a club, shop, whatever. But, like, experience it. Beyond the drinking, beyond the shopping, beyond the party time. Experience what the place has to offer.
Because you could do like drinking and shopping pretty much anywhere. I guess like obviously some malls
Welcome
are
to
better
York.
than others.
Welcome
but,
to Yorkton. That's all it is. But.
Yeah, but like you could do drinking at like your buddy's house every weekend if you wanted to, which a lot of people do. But like you could do a lot more different things as well too. As well, like drinking, it's good to an extent, but it gets kind of tiring and the same repetitive nature happens, and it's just like, am I doing this every single weekend? Am I living for the weekend? Am I living to drink in the weekend?
And it's like, I think a lot of people get entangled in that environment where it's like, we live in Yorkton and there's not a lot to do in Yorkton. It's a center, it's a trade center, and it's not really like, it's because it's kind of centered in Saskatchewan a bit. And like, well, I mean, we just lost our movie theater, so it's like
you gotta go to Melville to go to your movies. Which, to be fair, Melville Theater is
not bad.
It's a great. Bad. I like it.
Yes, it's actually pretty all right.
It's got that mom and pop vibe to it, which I love, and
it's great.
Like it makes you like when you go in there, it's kind of small. Like I'm pretty sure the bathroom is pretty small, but like the screen is actually pretty good. When you're in the theater, you don't even like think about like how small it is. Because the sound system's good.
Yep.
The screen looks great.
Yep.
The admission's decently cheap for a movie theater nowadays. So, I mean, it's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all.
Honestly, actually. I might even say it's probably even better than what we had here. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's
because like
not as iconic, but like it definitely was, I think, a little on the better side.
It depends on how many like movies you gone to. Like I went to Joker and I saw Godzilla vs. Kong in Melville Theater. Both good movies, so I had good experiences with them, so that's why the theater seems so good.
I saw The New Mutants, that horror movie, X-Men movie.
You did?
I saw it in Melville. Okay. That was a pretty cool movie. I
heard that people didn't like it due to ratings or something.
Really?
Like
it was, I don't know, like, I mean, you got your ratings, and then, like, that's, like, I don't know. I didn't mind it. I didn't mind that movie.
Because I guess there's, like, a difference between the critics and the actual audience.
What's a good example of that, where it's like the audience just adored it, but like the critics were like, this is just a horrible movie?
Oh, I mean, even for example, like Step Brothers. Step Brothers is a classic comedy. If you go on Rotten Tomatoes, I think it has either like a 58 or like a 60. It's like just below the fresh rating, but
yeah,
if you were to look at audience score though, I swear it's got to be 90 plus. Because you think about, if you ask anybody what their favorite comedy is, or around their favorite comedies, they're gonna say Step Brothers 9 times out of 10. They have to.
For sure. Step Brothers is a. Remember that photo shoot we did?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Throw that up on camera, but it's like me and my buddy Matthew back in grade 12, speaking of Step Brothers, we did that. We did like our own little shoot of it, and like, I don't know, I think it went pretty good.
It's pretty good.
I think it went pretty good. But yeah, no, back to the topic of the museum, because I really wanted to talk about this. You talked earlier about how the saloon in Red Dead Redemption, like, it has that vibe. Well, actually, in the back right corner of that museum, there is a cafe, and I kid you not, I'll have the picture brought up on screen right now. I took a picture of the prices of this saloon, like for the food that, not saloon, but like this cafe for the food they made. I paid $9 for a full, like for a chicken burger with like, it's loaded too, and a full plate of fries. $9. Where are you gonna go and get that? Like the most expensive thing on that menu was $10.
That's pretty good for like, and it's considering like, it's a cafe in a museum. Like you think it'd be supply and demand. People want to eat something. They can jack up the prices as much as they want. They can gouge the prices.
And on top of that, half the stuff they made was it was homemade, man. Like their gravy was homemade. I'm pretty sure their chicken. I don't know. Well, I don't know about the chicken, but like you tasted it, and it wasn't like that processed, like disgusting. Like you go and eat McDonald's. Okay, yeah, it tastes good, but it's like you feel like crap after. You don't feel really good. Like people say it's good hangover food, but honestly, like it's whatever.
The fries are the best though.
Fries they slap.
They slap hard. 3 a.m. hot fries.
Yes.
Just made?
Yes.
Oh man.
I don't like it when they're too.
Oh man.
I don't like it when they're too hot though. I like it when like they came out of the fryer, but like
Medium.
give them 2 minutes to like cool down. You know what I mean?
I feel you on that one.
Because
though.
then like you're scolding your mouth, and it's like, oh, I'm just trying to enjoy my fries here. But yeah, no, like honestly, like back on that experience thing, I want to like, you know what I think? You know what I think? You know where I think we should go next?
Where?
I want to go to Moose Jaw.
Moose Jaw. I've not gonna lie. I've only been to Moose Jaw. I think only for football, and that's all I've seen in Moose Jaw. Just the
Really?
football field, and then wherever that one restaurant was where we all got pasta for lunch. I think.
Oh, the Chinese restaurant there.
Yep. That's the
Yeah,
one.
I remember. Oh yeah, I remember that restaurant. That was a good. one.
That's the only experience I've ever had with Moose Jaw, which is kind of weird to say, but like that's the only.
Well, you know
thing I've
what?
done.
The tunnels are cool, and like the tunnel, like you know about that?
Not exactly. No.
You don't know about the history in Moose Jaw?
I don't. I can't say I do.
Okay, we're not gonna spoil it. Then don't search it up on your phone.
Okay.
We're definitely going to Moose Jaw next.
There you
That's
go.
gonna be a good one. That's gonna be where it starts, where we like kind of vlog the experience. We're gonna get a group together and we're gonna do that.
Yes.
Another thing I kind of wanted to do though. Oh, what the heck's his last name now? I go to school with him. He's gonna watch this and be so mad at me. Rylan. I go to school with him. Rylan. It's not Radowitz. I worked with Rylan Radowitz. That guy's funny. Rylan Ranyard. Fucking cool guy, man. I go to school with him, and he drives race car, stock car or something like that.
Okay.
I forget the name of it, but he's got this video game at his house, and I played it. I just sucked at it. I hit the wall every time. But this is cool. Like it's some really cool stuff. Well, actually, he drives stock car, and he was racing this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, Stu, you got to come down, man. And I'm like, well, first I was supposed to go fishing. That got canceled. Then I went to Saskatoon with Riley, so I couldn't go to the races.
Yeah.
But he's like, man, in 2 weeks we're like his buddy Ertz, he was talking to me. He's like, yeah, 2 weeks we got this other thing coming up for races, and I'm like, that'd be kind of cool to go to. You know, go and hang out with a buddy that drives race car, and then freaking like hang out in the pits after.
That'd be pretty
You know,
cool.
experience that life. I'm excited to do that. That's more down south.
Okay.
I am excited to do that, and I'm gonna see if I can. It's gonna be hard going into being a diesel mechanic, like, because I'll be starting to work here.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
Full-time.
will be able to right away. If I get a job right away, then it's hard to say. But I mean, like, it's on a weekend. Like you said, races are Friday, Saturday, so it's like,
That's not bad.
yeah, I'll go check it out. Like, I think it'd be a good experience.
That'd be pretty sick. I haven't seen any races in person at all. Like the closest I got was horse racing in person, but that's it though.
Oh, they even took that out of Yorkton. Yorkton's such a boring place, man. Like, that's the one thing we had, and they took that out of Yorkton.
Man,
So they're doing some construction on the
the grandstand.
grandstand, though. That's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
So at least maybe they could be building stuff back up, possibly to be
Maybe.
hosting.
Maybe that'd be kind of a
But
interesting
this-
experience.
This reminds me though, the fair. It's probably not going to be here this year.
To be fair, though, about the fair, I don't think we're missing out on much with that one.
It is pretty much the same thing every year.
But
It's still like an experience, so it's like okay,
yeah, it's like
let's go to the fair. Everybody's there. Bunch of rhymes here, but
let's see some familiar faces, you know,
go on some
hang
rides.
out, go on some rides. Yeah, that's true.
It's nice, but like, I guess it is kind of expensive too at times, depending on
for
on
what they
you-
ask, yeah. Like for what they give and what you get, it's relatively pretty expensive. It is. You're not wrong there.
Mhm.
But I mean, like I said, it's still something to do.
Yeah, because
Like-
I went to the CNE, I believe, in Toronto. I think it's called that. But it's like one of the biggest fairs there is, at least in Canada for sure. But that was insane though. There's so many people there. I believe we went a couple rides, but that's about it though. It was like the lines were insane though, and the prices were even crazier too. But once you go to like a fair like that, and then you go to a low key local fair, it's kind of like
It's like, oh man, like
it's not the greatest, but I mean, you gotta like take into account too. Toronto has I don't know how many millions of people, and then Ontario in general too. Yorkton has 18,000 people maybe. So
yeah. So it's like, yeah, it's in contrast to that comparison.
like
it's
population index type thing.
you get what you're living in, I guess. I
But-
don't know, but
I want to get those sugar donuts though. That's the one thing. The sugar donuts there slap so hard.
at the fair, like here,
Yeah. Like the sugar donuts, like they have the same type of things at Rider Games too as well. You can go get sugar donuts around the complex
those
at Mosaic.
small ones.
Yeah, there's the small.
Oh
sugar
yeah,
donuts.
those are so good, man.
Mini donuts.
I remember my mom bought some when I must have been in elementary school last time I went to that fair. But
Really?
no. Actually, no. I did go summer going into grade 12. I did go to the fair at that point,
Okay.
but I didn't get mini donuts. But funny story on that. But anyways, no, for sure. I remember having those mini donuts. I think my mom bought some, and I was like in elementary school last time I went there, and discluding summer going to grade 12.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember like just fucking like, well, excuse my language, just like chowing those things down, man. Like they are pretty good. Like
They slap so
to
hard.
gain a couple pounds with those things, man. Just eat a bunch.
Well, fair food in general. I mean, there's a lot of like weird fried stuff. Like I guess fried pickles isn't weird, but like there's like a lot of different fried varieties of stuff.
I've never tried fried pickles.
Even in like I tried that. I tried. Do you ever try deep fried ice cream?
Nope.
It's pretty much just like ice cream with like a brown kind of coating around it, kind of shell.
You know, working in a restaurant for 3 years, I'm really surprised I hadn't tried any of that stuff.
It's kind of surprising.
Yeah, it is kind of surprising.
Did you have like a deep fryer there?
Yeah, no, we did.
So you like deep fry anything? I guess it depends on who orders what, but
But like, I mean, like we don't have like I don't recall us having a huge menu like deep frying things. But I mean, like every once in a while when we were on break, like we would make something kind of cool. Like I remember one time I was working with a girl and she made stuffed mushrooms. That was kind of cool. And then we all kind of sat down and ate on our break. So like we were allowed to make stuff that we wanted to make.
that reminds me of one thing: the stew burger. I never had that.
Stew burger.
What was even in the stew burger? Because I always heard about this.
Man,
but
this was like 3 years ago. I cannot recall. I remember like making it like my first week of work there at the Yorkton Chalet. Good place to eat, by the way.
Shout out.
Book your reservations. Good place to go. But I remember I was like vibing and I was like, yeah, we should make the stew burger. And they're like, okay. So I'm in the back with my boss Andrew at the time, and we're making this burger. And I'm like, we're trying it out. And I'm like, how much would this cost? And I think she said something like $18. Like, it was like just massive. Like, it was like one of their Wally burgers there, pretty much almost. Like, I think it had olives. I think it had double patty and a bigger bun.
Mm-hmm.
What else did it have? Like your basics for burgers.
Like when I thought of the stew burger, I thought of like a massive amount of meat.
Oh,
with,
yeah.
like, cheese everywhere oozing out of it. That's what I thought of, and like bacon or something.
That does sound nice. That sounds like super greasy, but nice.
It reminds me of the Bacon King, honestly, at Burger King.
Man, not gonna lie. Every time I go to Burger King, which has been quite frequently this year because of school, I always order the Roadhouse Crispy Chicken.
The Roadhouse Crispy Chicken.
The Roadhouse Crispy Chicken.
I don't think I've ever had that.
It is... I'm not a fan of onions or onion rings, but like onion rings go so... Because like they put onion rings in it.
Wait, we're talking onion, like the deep fried like onion rings?
Yeah. Like they actually... It's basically a chicken burger, and then you got barbecue in it, and then you got mayonnaise in it, and then you got cheese, bacon, I said chicken already, and onion rings.
Damn.
And it actually tastes so great. Like, it's like... Sometimes I'll just order 2 and just chow down. Like, I'm not even kidding. I mean, like, it's amazing. It's great. Cheat day. I've had a lot of cheat days this year. That's it. I think I gotta cut back on the cheat days.
Yeah, even me too. But there's been times for a little bit too much Dons, you know. Kind of adds up a bit after a while.
Yeah,
but
I've been. Go ahead.
That when you're talking about onion rings, though, man, the onion rings. Okay, there's a few onion rings around town that are pretty good that I'm thinking of. Like I was thinking of number one, DQ's onion rings are phenomenal. Like you can't top DQ's onion rings because sometimes they get too crispy. Like you make ones that are too crispy or ones that are too soggy and gross, but they hit like that perfect medium in between both of that. Like if you try like DQ's a top tier one, S tier, and then you have like A&W though. A&W way too crispy, way too warm. It's just not that good at all.
Their breakfast meals are amazing though.
The A&W ones?
Yep.
Oh, they slap so hard. A bacon and an egger?
Oh
man.
Oh my god.
It slaps so hard.
Die for that stuff, man. It's so good.
One time when I made my first trip to Regina by myself, I was pretty much living out of my car the entire day because I spent the night at someone's house, and then the next day I had to leave very quickly, and then all of a sudden I had to be on my own and try and find a way around town to, even though I've been in Regina many times, but I've been driven in Regina, so I was trying to find my way to go and find like washrooms and places to go and eat and stuff like that. But I remember finding myself in the John Tiger parking lot and there's an A&W right beside there. So then I had my bacon and egger, had my drink, and I was just vibing with my music by myself in Regina, thinking of where am I going to go and how am I going to get home, because my vehicle is not the most reliable thing. So on my mind the entire day, I thought my vehicle was going to break down with me by myself in Regina. So all I remember is just the vibes of having a bacon and egger and having no idea what I was doing next.
Bacon and eggers, in general, are a vibe.
Mm-hmm.
They're such a vibe. That too, though, like being, like, just alone and like experiencing something and doing something for the first time. Like for me, I haven't moved out yet, but like it's coming, right?
Yeah,
and it's like, or like just being in a city by yourself, like that is quite the experience. I find like it's so different when you go with your family and it's like, or you go with friends and it's like, oh, this is cool. But like when you go by yourself, for me, honestly, what I like the most when it comes to that stuff is just the car ride.
Yeah.
Like, I like the long car ride. Some people don't like driving alone. I don't know. For me, one thing I like to do, I like to sing quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
I don't.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Move along.
We're gonna move along from that topic, but I don't know. Like one thing that I do from I'm just gonna talk about move along first. What he's talking about is when I was in grade 6, or was it grade 8?
I think it's grade 6. It may have been earlier on. I don't remember it being later on.
I did do a song in grade 6. I think I did a song in grade 5 too.
It was like it was early days, Stu.
Yeah.
Like either like
early,
just middle days.
That's like right when we met, pretty much. Like we always went to elementary school together, but grade 6 is pretty much like when we started hanging out.
Yeah, when like the boys like formed basically.
Towards the end.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, in grade 5, I sung "What I've Done" by Linkin Park because
Banger.
I was all into the Transformers, and that was the ending song, and it was such a pump up song. And I also sung "Move Along" in grade 6. And I just remember this one part where I got really silent and really loud, and it shocked a bunch of people. And I was just having fun on the stage singing.
I remember that.
But looking back, I was just like, oh boy. I don't think I was that bad though.
You were pretty good. You hit that vocal range, you know.
Yeah, back then.
For being like a kid that like obviously like grade 6, how old would you be at that point? Like at least like
12,
10, 11?
10, something
Probably
around
11,
there.
I bet.
Yeah, 11 sounds.
But like pre-puberty, hitting the high notes. I mean, it was a good age to sing like a song in the talent show, I feel.
For sure. No Americans Got Title. Americans Got Title. What the Americans Got Talent. I was thinking American Idol and Americans Got Talent. Whoops. No, it's no Americans Got Talent level of quality, but I had fun. It was fun. And I've always kind of liked singing. And this, like every once in a while, a classic banger will pop back up. Like for me, it's kind of a little like demasculating, I guess. But this song called "Promiscuous" came up that I did not know about this song.
Fergie?
I did not know about this song for a long time, but like it's like an instant banger because like everyone knows that song, and it was just hilarious. That was a hard song to learn. But what I do is like on my car rides, I play like one part of a song at a time, and like if you're in the car with me, so I don't do it when I'm with other people, it gets extremely annoying. Like I will literally replay a part like hundreds of times just to understand it, and then I move on to the next part, but I let the song play through so I could practice the last part to get to the next part, and then I get to the next part, and then after the end of the next part of the chorus I restart it again. So it's like driving with me when I do that is probably not fun. But
eventually you learn the song though eventually.
Yeah,
you can perform for everybody else.
Yeah,
and be
yeah,
good.
yeah. And it was always like I kind of find that funny where it's like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Start singing the song, but like, yeah, but no, like, I don't know. Like when I go on car rides, that's sort of what I do to pass the time. Or like I'll throw on a podcast. What we're listening to right now, podcast.
Exactly.
I don't know. What do you do?
Pretty much same exact thing, but
yeah, really, eh?
Pretty much, you just gotta like,
relatable.
Not in terms of like learning the song type thing. I kind of play the same song over and over again, try listening to it and try singing to it. But when it comes to other things, like in my vehicle, I've got a way to like that way. I've got like one of those touchscreen decks So that way you can have
Advanced over there.
yeah, now you can have the music playing, you can see what song's playing type thing, put it on, you can see your playlist and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
Isn't your car a G6?
Yeah, Pontiac G6.
Like a G6?
Like a G6.
Start singing that song all the time.
It's literally the theme song of it.
You were saying though.
Banger.
Carry on.
But anyways, this thing, it's got the ability to, like, you could put on like a movie or something while the car is driving, and that way you could have like that background noise. So there's movies like Wolf of Wall Street and Step Brothers that I know pretty much the entire thing, the dialogue in my head. So I could be driving along, looking down the highway, and like reciting the entire movie line by line the entire time. And it's honestly a blast. That also Pulp Fiction too as well. Pulp Fiction and Wolf of Wall Street.
I watched that once.
Mhm.
Where did I watch that? I remember we watched it one time because like I didn't even know what that movie was.
I think it was at your place.
I think it was. Oh yeah, it was. You, me, Anna, and Kaya.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What is this movie, man?"
It's
Like-
kind of bizarre because of Tarantino, the way he makes it. It's pretty much, it's like you have the end in the beginning, and then you have everything, like the order's all messed up, and you got to piece it together when the movie goes along.
It's definitely a Tarantino thing to do, though.
Yeah.
Like that like I did not know what the movie was. Apparently, it's a cult classic, and I knew nothing about it.
So
Living
good. Watch
under
it.
a rock over here. But like, yeah, good movie. I enjoyed that movie so much.
Mhm.
It was great. Like a lot like Step Brothers. It's just like it's a classic.
It's a classic.
Yeah, classic.
Everyone should watch it.
Yeah, no, for sure. But speaking of classics, we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back shortly. We're just going to take a sip of water and whatnot, but we'll be right back in a moment.
So we're back now. We got some high quality H2O, some water.
My mom said.
My mom said.
It's not quality H2O.
The Water Boy. Banger movie, though. But anyway, speaking of water, I want to get on this next topic. Alcohol.
Drinks.
Drinks.
Oh boy. Alcoholic beverages. Alcoholic beverages and wild times. We've got a couple.
What do you think would be like because we could talk about the best ones, but we could talk about the worst ones that you've had, the worst experiences. Not the worst drinks, but the worst experiences you've had.
Worst experiences, eh?
Yeah. What do you think would be a top one? I think there's been a time, though. I think I recall something called Jim Beam. Does that ring a bell, possibly, to you?
Boys and big stew. And this is some Jim Beam right here. If you want.
Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit!
No, I can't recall.
Okay. That sounds fair.
I mean, sounds like a pretty decent drink, but
Yeah, it's nothing. It's not like it would,
no
impact someone.
traumatic flashbacks and.
PTSD or whatever,
Oh man, but anyways, I remember one time we were drinking. Mm-hmm. Oh fuck, when was this? Way back. It's one of the first times that we all hung out.
Like all the boys?
I think that's one of the first. Yeah, like all the
hangouts?
boys got together. Like we were paintballing and
Oh, yeah.
at Carter's place there.
Mhm.
That's actually where we took our first picture. Our the beach one.
Oh, yeah, that's right. All the boys
remember
together,
the beach?
yeah.
all the boys
On
together.
the dunes, that's pretty good.
And we were paintballing and all that stuff, and that was honestly like I found it so funny. Gary and Miller, some of you guys may know Gary Miller. He was showing me his phone the one time. There was a collage that they made, and like the phone just made the collage for him, and it was like the past like graduation year, and I found it so funny. It came out of nowhere, and this picture was from 2 years prior. So like I don't know how the phone even thought of putting this picture up, but like the last picture on that collage of memories throughout his entire time in high school was that beach picture.
Really?
Really, and he has it on his phone to prove it.
That's cool.
And I'm just like that wasn't from 2019. And I'm just like, man, like
Like, it really makes you think about how...
glitch in the matrix right there.
Yeah,
like,
how, like, 2 years ago doesn't seem... Like, it seems kind of... I don't know. It's just weird how, like, time flies.
yeah, like it's like, and before you know it, we're 40. Like, whoa.
Don't say that. Don't say it.
Oh man, it's coming. But I mean, I
Pretty much.
think we got our 20s to live out first.
But anyways, with I remember it wasn't one of those hangouts, but it was one of the ones later down the line. I remember I was wearing my Pulp Fiction shirt, and man, crazy night. That's for sure. I think it was one of the first time I actually drank. Actually, it was Mike's Hard. I think I got like a
Mike's
6-pack
Hard.
or something like that. And man,
I felt so accomplished seeing you throw up.
I was okay. You know, like you do that thing where like you're on your having a phone while being drunk is not a good idea, especially Snapchat.
No. That's a horrible idea. Note to people, I'm pretty sure most people can relate to that. Like, man, just put the phone down. Like,
Hide it somewhere.
like it's not good. Getting drunk with a phone is not a good idea.
Because like the next day, I remember going through. It's just like, you know, the end of The Hangover where they find the camera of what happened, and then it goes like it's You Spin Me Right rounds playing in the background. They're showing what happened with all these pictures as like kind of collage thing. But anyways, same thing with Snapchat with me doing videos like selfie videos of me telling myself I'm not drunk, and sending them to a couple friends and stuff like that. I remember how annoyed they were with me the next day because I'm like, I'm so sorry for what I said to you last night. That was not me. And they're like, yeah, you said that you're drunk. You're not drunk many times, but you could see, like, you could just hear in the entire video me slurring my voice, and it was pretty funny. That's for sure. But now I have those in my Snapchat memories. So I think it was honestly like a week ago. It popped back up in my memories. Yeah, and so I resell his videos, and I'm just like, man, I'm not doing that again. That was bad. don't have Snapchat on your phone while you're drunk. Just like put the phone away, chuck it across the field if you can. If you've got an otter.
You quite literally did that one time.
I did do that.
Remember when we were playing? We were playing. What the heck is that game called? Search and. I was gonna say Search and Destroy.
Search and destroy.
Search and Rescue. Rescue Heroes. No. What's the name of that game?
Are we talking like video game? Or are we talking like game
No,
game?
like we're like actually like we were out in the field. Buddy had the paintball gun, home free, or like something like that.
like Man Tracker?
Man Tracker, yeah, and like the person, and we're in Carter's field, and we were like speaking to throwing your phone in the damn field. Mm-hmm. Yeah, remember that? Remember that?
I remember. I was terrified. I
man.
couldn't find my phone. Because, man, like, you don't realize how much you need your phone until your phone's in the middle of the field with no way of finding it.
Yeah.
It's pitch black. And you're like, panicking.
Oh, I remember. Like, we're playing Man Tracker, right? And the person that's tracking us gets flashlights and gets a paintball gun, so it doesn't feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And
Pain.
we're playing, and I'm, like, trying to be, like, Spec Ops the line here. Excuse me, sorry. Trying to be like Spec Ops the line here, like all stealthy, and all I hear is
Tom Clancy over here.
Tom Clancy, and all I hear is game's off, and I'm like, what's going on here? And he's just like, where's my phone, man? Like, and it's like we're all thinking like, man, like this guy's not gonna find his phone. It's gone. It's in the field, and he found it.
I did find
Actually found it, and it was on. Wasn't it? No, it wasn't dead.
It was close to being dead.
And it was on silent.
Yeah, my phone's always on silent, so whenever I have any phone calls coming in, I don't hear them. The only way I could even answer them is if I see my phone's like vibrating and stuff, or like I could see it lighting up. But I remember that night was terrifying, not being able to find my phone. But this also brings me back to another situation where I lost my keys skiing, and that was even more terrifying because I only have one set of keys, and my vehicle would have been trapped at Carter's house if we didn't, or if some random person didn't find them.
That's when you and Gary went one time with Carter, right?
It was me, Tasso, Darian, and Carter. Like it was like, I think it was either Boxing Day or like the day after.
Is that the one where Tasso got that girl's number?
No, it was a different one. Tasso,
Okay,
it was
never
like
mind.
Tasso was with like some other people and stuff
Okay,
like that for that one.
Yeah.
But this one, I remember for some reason I had my keys in my jacket. My jacket coat, like I was flying down the hill. For some reason, my jacket coat pocket wasn't done up, even though it should have been. And I should just. And at this time, I couldn't leave anything in the lodge because of coronavirus, so I couldn't leave anything there. And I didn't want to leave it in the car because I don't know. I just didn't want to leave my keys there. But anyways, I was skiing down the hill, and when you're going fast skiing for the first time in about 12 years, you don't realize how fast you're going until you're just flying down the hill, and you kind of get panic a bit. So sometimes, like I think the first time, I think I just intentionally fell down, but then as you're going fast and falling down, you're kind of snowballing down the hill, and my legs are going over my head, and I was worried I was gonna break my ankle at the end of the day of all this falling and stuff like that. But I didn't break my ankle, but I lost my keys, and I was I don't know. I kind of accepted by the end of the day that my keys would be gone. I was like, okay, I gotta try and find a way to get into my car. I gotta find a way to make another spare key without a key, and like the whole thing was going through my head about how am I gonna fix this. I was convinced my keys were gone, but anyways, eventually I was just sitting in the lodge, just kind of by myself, and then all of a sudden some random person comes in. They're like, yeah, I found like a pair of keys over here. So I stood up. I'm like, does that have an Anytime Fitness purple key thing on there? They're like, yeah. I'm like, those are my keys.
Weight of the world is gone.
I was
like, holy crap.
I was so happy after that though, man. Like, you don't realize how much you miss something until it's gone.
I remember one time, speaking of keys, I remember one time, because I got a Chevrolet Nova 76. The Nova.
Classic.
And I didn't know they made keys for the door and keys for the ignition. Old school cars, you have keys for the door and keys for the ignition. It's not one key. And I honestly didn't know that. I know my keychain had 2 keys on it, so it should have been like duh, common sense. But at the time, I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
So me and Gary and Miller, done this exercise and whatnot, and he wasn't part of the exercise, but his parents were, because I do search and rescue with his parents. And so after that, we were going to go party hard. Like, we were going to go down to Sturgis and party. And I wanted to take my Nova. He was going to take his G8. And, like, we were going to be like, oh, cool, look at us with cars.
Oh, yeah.
One, my lights went out.
Oh, yeah.
My lights went out. So I had to take my search and rescue lights and tape them onto my headlights because my lights went out because I was having some wiring issues.
Man.
And then I locked my car because I didn't want to have anyone steal stuff. And Gary doesn't live in a bad neighborhood, so I don't think it would happen anyways. But I tried opening my car with the ignition key, and I was like, my car door is not opening right now. What's going on here? Like, what? So I'm like, I get back in the house. I'm like, Gary, my car's locked. I can't open my car. And I look at my keychain, and I got this oval-looking key and this square key, and I'm like,
yeah.
I wonder if that key's meant for the door. And it was. And Garen's like, you moron. He just slaps me in the head, you moron. And I'm just like, whatever, man. But it was kind of depressing that we didn't get to go with both our cars. We went with the G8. But, yeah, no, good times. Keys. Gotta love them.
And I gotta make a spare key for my actual car, though. Like, for real. So that way, that situation does not happen ever again where I have a spare. So if anything happens, at least I have a backup. It's always good to have a backup. I had a backup with my Jeep. I had a backup with my truck. I need one for the G6. But I need to find somebody who can cut keys for ignition in and around this area. So I gotta do that eventually.
I think you can just go to a local dealership and they'll do that for you.
Probably, but they'll charge you up the ass, though. That's the thing. And,
Yeah.
like, I'll buy the key, but then I have to just find someone to go and basically cut it. I can code it myself.
Oh,
Like, it's pretty easy to code them, apparently, the G6s.
really?
Yeah, because it's like this, you do these kind of things in series, like you turn it on for like 3 seconds, you turn it off.
Oh, and then it scans it. Yeah.
Yeah, sort of thing.
Yeah, I know. I went through that with a Grand Am.
Grand Slam.
Grand Slam.
What happened to the Grand Slam, anyways? I haven't heard about that in a while.
Well, last I was dealing with it, I ripped the ignition out because I was getting pissed off. Because, okay, so
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
I actually wired it up. I got a video where I wired it up.
Oh.
We'll play it on the screen. But, anyways, yeah, no, Grand Slam. I ripped the ignition out because the stupid cylinder lock thing kept happening where I couldn't turn my key anymore.
That thing happened to my parents' truck. It's so
And
annoying.
it happened once with the old one, and I was like, okay, like now it's not going to happen because I got a new one. And then the new one did it. And I was like, screw this, I'm ripping the ignition out. And I did. I ripped the ignition out, and then I put everything up on a bolt, and I pretty much, like, Gary was with me when I was doing it the first time, and I actually got my starter to go over a little bit, but then it stopped. And I had to wire in a resistor. Like, it was a bunch of wiring and shit, but then I actually did start it. I got it to go.
Really?
Yeah, and then in order to turn it off, I had to, like, unplug the battery because I didn't know how else to turn it off. It was brutal.
Jeez.
But yeah, no, like, it was kind of a neat experience. Right now, it's sitting in the back of my yard, my dad's yard.
Mhm.
And I don't know, I was thinking of taking it to FRCC, but I don't know.
Are you gonna, if you were to take it to like an event like that, would you deck it all out?
If I had the money to. That's the thing,
Just
right?
make it rank.
But like, I remember I drifted so much in that car. Like, one time I literally, I think I went through like, what was it, 4 tires in like 2 months. Like, it was brutal. I had a new flat like every second week, and then my friends in class probably remember that. If any of you guys are watching, I remember one time I was going back home from school because we're changing oil in this D6 in this or not D6. It would have been like a D050. It was a D50 Komatsu,
Okay.
and it was a bulldozer, and we're changing oil in this thing, and we were trying to, because I was fixing a seal in a hydraulic pump, and the hydraulic pump's connected to the gear train of the front of the engine, and the problem was there was this lip seal inside of this thing, and because of this thing being broken, hydraulic fluid was actually seeping into the oil pan of the transmission, because the gear train is directly connected to the oil pan of not transmission of the engine, not transmission. That's false information. And
Fake news.
fake news. CTV. I'm just kidding. I'm not taking shots. Anyways, no, it's not CTV. It's something else. CNN. CNN. Fake news. CNN. Sorry, I had more false information. They could be fake news. I don't know. But anyways, so yeah, I was fixing this seal with my group, and in order to get, so we fixed the seal, and we had to get the oil back to a normal level. In order to do that, I had to kind of kamikaze the whole right side of my body and put the oil drain pan or the oil drain plug back in, like every once in a while, to stop the oil from draining. Problem was, like 30 gallons per minute of freaking oil's coming down. So like, by the end of this, we did get it. We did get the oil change correct, but like my whole side of my body was covered in oil. And I look at Paul and I'm like, can I go home and like have a shower? And he's like, go ahead, Stu, it's all good.
Reminds me of one of those when the oil spills happened. You know those Dawn detergent commercials where they had the ducks covered in oil.
Yeah, I remember that.
Need some Dawn detergent
Need some Dawn.
covered in
Some
that stuff.
Dawns. So yeah, no, like, yeah, could have used some Dawns, but yeah, I know. But anyways, back to the story I was going to tell. I was drifting my car. I loved pulling the e-brake on this thing. Like, I swear to God, my cable on my e-brake was probably ready to just snap. Like, it was so stretched out. And I'm driving home, and this guy Brad and I go to school with, he didn't know what my place looked like. So I was like, yeah, tag along, man, let's go. And I'm like, hey, check this out. I'm gonna pull a wicked sick drift. Pull the e-brake, almost sent it right into the ditch. Like, freaking, like, we're going to the approach, because, like, we live down, you know, down Highway 10 or Highway 52. I took Highway 52, and they turned the Jarslow Trail. And yeah, full sent it, almost into the culvert. Stop the car. I'm just sitting there, I look at him. I'm like, that wasn't supposed to happen.
That was not planned.
That was not a planned experience.
Well, whenever I think of you drifting, I think of the CRV all the time.
Oh.
Man, that
one
amount
winter.
of drifts and drifting in salt coats.
My dad would not be impressed. He does not get to see this podcast. My brother still flipped it, though, so technically I did not break that thing.
That's true. I don't know how. I thought for sure the CRV would die with you, but somehow it died with your brother. That didn't make any sense to me.
It makes perfect sense to me. But no,
I think it's a legendary though. Rip the CRV.
I know, I miss it so much.
Man, I saw a thing on salvage and I'm like, But
I wonder whatever happened to that car.
I wonder if
So
someone
who-
just parted it out.
Who's the person that found it in SGI Salvage and sent it to the group chat? Was it Carter?
It might have been Carter or I don't know, somebody was looking at salvage, I guess, and they happened to go across the CRV. Or I remember intentionally looking up salvage too, because I know that you guys put in a claim, and then I'm like, okay, I want to see if this is on salvage, because you can just search it up online on any internet browser. But I don't know if it was me or if it was like Carter or somebody else that just randomly dropped it on there. But I remember seeing it on there, and I'm like, that's pretty interesting. I could own the CRV if I wanted to.
You wouldn't want to own it after that, man.
It was like the top of the
Oh
vehicle
my
just died
god,
or
it
what?
was just well, it was upside down for a couple hours, so it's like all the fluids are gone. Like,
Yeah.
And the
Cars are not supposed to be upside down.
it's like bent in everywhere. There's dents. There's the glass is broke. Like, even I think the axle is even bent too. I don't know how my brother didn't die, man. Like,
That's crazy.
I'm kind of a dick though. Every once in a while when we're driving together, I will purposely swerve on the grid just to like trigger his PTSD. Does that make me mean?
Damn.
Does that make me mean?
You tool.
I'm a tool.
You tool.
Not the sharpest.
They ain't the sharpest tool in the
Ain't
shed.
the sharpest tool in the shed.
But yeah, I wish like I had my Jeep.
I'm a good tool though, but anyways.
A good tool.
I'm a good tool.
It works.
It works.
But I had my speaking of vehicles though, I had my Jeep. That thing, it was around the CRV era. My Jeep was a white 2002 Jeep Liberty, and I think it was like either the first in the model line. I'm pretty sure it was. It was like the first year. But anyways, that thing had about 295 clicks on it. It was pretty much done in. Like it was everything that was going on it. But anyways, I had fixed at one point. I had the alternator was put in by
I remember that.
by your dad.
I remember
coming
that.
in clutch.
Right.
And then
But that was I think that's the same night we watched Pulp Fiction.
that was the same night, yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird how things tie in together. But
Like the freaking thing was haunted. Everything's just bugging.
I know it was so scary driving with like nothing on. The dash wasn't working. The freaking my stereo just turned off and it's just dark. There's no lights on either too, because obviously the alternator's gone. But remember the alternator's gone. Power steering was gone after driving outside of town one time after a trip, and then the battery was replaced as well. There was issues with the heat module as well. There's like a bunch of laundry list of issues. But anyways, this thing, me and my brother was going up to Good Spirit for a beach day on July 1st of 2019, and we were about halfway there, and all of a sudden this thing, it starts making this kind of like, the dash is making some noises, so I'm like, something's happening. It looked normal to me. The dash is going fine, RPM was fine, gas was fine, the radiator was fine as well at this point. But then all of a sudden, this thing starts smoking from the engine, the wheel seizes up, so I quickly crank it so that way I can get off to the side of the road so I'm not getting hit by any cars, and then the thing is just done. And that was the last time the Jeep ever drove was that day on July 1st, 2019. Died on the way to the beach.
July 1st.
On Canada Day. But the thing is, that didn't stop my
Faithful day.
vibe, though. That day, I knew the thing was going to die, so I wasn't sad about it. And I remember later on, there was a thunderstorm, and I still had a good day, though, at the beach regardless, even though my Jeep died literally on the way there.
Was that when all the boys went and I was supposed to go?
I think, yeah, you're supposed to come. You're doing something. You're helping a buddy bring a vehicle up or something.
Yep. That made me so angry. I remember that. Logan King, you're watching this. You know this story. So, oh God. Freaking... So I like to help my buddies because like Logan would help me. He's a good guy, very good guy, down to earth. But I remember one time where he wanted me to help him pick up a vehicle. It was a Ford F-250. It has the International motor in it, 7.3.
Nice.
Apparently bulletproof engines. It's a Ford though, so whatever. But anyways,
Ford.
yeah, he's like, yeah, man. Like, we're just going north of Kenora. I was like, oh, well, that's not so bad. Kenora's, 45 minutes away? North of Kenora probably means like another half hour, 45 minutes. Like, that's second. I'll make it back for beach day.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, it's freaking Tisdale. Like, Tisdale's like over there. Kenora's right there. Yeah, it's north of Kenora. And then an extra freaking, like, going that way hardcore. Another freaking, like... Oh, I was like, Logan, you said north of Kenora. Like, not like pretty much Nipawin. Like, you know? So I remember just like, I was like, all good. It's chill. For the entire time, I was like, like, I was like, I just missed beach day with the boys, man. But it's okay. It's okay. We still got the International back home. And
There you go.
got to work on my stick driving skills. So that was cool, too. And
Practice
it
makes
was,
perfect.
yeah, it was actually a good time. I mean,
Mhm.
no hate, Logan. It was all chill. I know you got my back. But, like,
Okay.
I remember that. I was like, no beach day. Got to bite that bullet.
At least the boys can go for more beach days. Always.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it was July 1st, but I mean, there's always many beach days.
Yeah, there's tons of beach days. I mean, beginning of summer right now. We're not even in June yet. Well, it's May 31st, but
It's
still.
like it's so nice out right now. There's no wind.
Yeah, barely. Well, it's a little cloudy in the distance, but for the most part, yeah, like super calm. Really nice for our first podcast, actually.
I know. I thought for sure it'd be like we tested the audio quality in this, and I thought for sure you hear just the entire time, but
Yeah.
there's nothing. There's no wind.
The wind gods are serving us well.
Wind gods. Bless the wind gods.
Only one God, Jesus Christ. Amen. That's it. I'm kidding. There's no wind gods. Just one. My opinion.
The sun god.
Yeah.
The wind god.
Moving on.
The send god.
Send God.
Oh.
Full send God.
Full send or no send. That's for sure. But
My brother's really on into that stuff. He's got a bunch of that full send stuff.
the full send stuff, okay. Nelk is good. Like the Nelk's like the YouTube channel that has the full send brand.
I got a question.
What?
Does it make me a degenerate that I legitimately don't watch it?
Actually, it's gone to the point where I don't watch it anymore. It's the same thing over and over again. Like they have pranks every once in a while, or they have like 1-2 minute prank in the entire video, but then the rest is pretty much just either a drinking montage or something. Like Nelk is okay, but they tend to do the same thing over and over again. Plus, there's times where like it's like a Monday. They drop their videos every Monday at like 7 p.m. our time. But there's times where it's like they're not gonna upload or they have nothing to upload. So it's like 6:30 and they're like, boys, we're having upload issues right now. We'll keep you posted. And you just know they're not uploading anything right now. It's just that they don't have anything planned. So they're just saying there's issues. So that way they can get some time to go and make a video quickly.
Or it doesn't become us. I'm kidding. We're
Cursed.
good. We're good. We're not cursed. This is awesome. This
But-
isn't Real Deal DS. I'm sorry, Dustin. I'm not shooting shots.
Season 3 real deal. It's still coming.
Still coming.
But-
Speaking of threes,
Part 3?
are we doing part 3?
Stew Screw Part 3? I mean, Stew Screw Part 2, it was good. Stew Screw Part 1 is a classic.
I can't believe how much views that video got.
Man, it's gotten
4.5k.
on Facebook alone. And then you have and then on
That's crazy.
like man, it's the amount of views you got for election video is pretty good. And I think it has like 90 plus likes or something on Facebook. Which for like a general area, like I only have like 300 friends on Facebook. And the people around us don't have like thousands of followers and stuff like that. So like getting like 4.5k views with like around 90 likes for an election video that we didn't put like a whole lot of effort into is pretty good. So, and it spawned a lot of memes too, that's for sure.
I just find it so funny how that whole thing was just spontaneous.
It's
In the
just
moment.
on the fly.
I want to get into it, but I think I've got to save that for another video.
That's free for another
That's
video.
gonna be for
a lot of backstory on that.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier, like video ideas, and one of them was actually gonna be reviewing our videos from the past and just talking about like what we were thinking in our minds when we were doing this.
Cause
Like,
it's some pretty weird stuff at times. So it's like, what were they thinking?
like where did this come from? You know,
Mhm.
like I can recall a couple moments, like wearing a muscle shirt in the middle of wintertime. Like,
Oh,
we'll get to that, but believe me, it was not fun. I thought I had frostbite at one point. I'm not even kidding, but like no, like that's another reason why I really enjoy this is because like we get to, like you said earlier in the video, we get to recollect things and like look back and just it's like it's nice to smile at the things we've done.
Exactly, yeah.
You know,
Sometimes
like,
you gotta look back and
appreciate what's happened.
exactly.
You know, it's like what made us who we were.
It's
And,
led you here to this point. So you gotta look at that kind of stuff. Even
Yeah.
though there's a lot of good, there could be some bad, but you gotta reflect on the best of times and just keep moving forward and use those as lessons if it's a bad thing or
exactly.
yeah.
And I think that's just a good thing that take into life too. Is just like not every situation is gonna work out, right?
Mhm.
But it's like like you focus on the negatives and you don't see the positives out of the negatives. Like there's always a positive to a negative in my opinion, even if it's like the worst of the worst.
Mhm.
Like for example, my engine blew up the other day. Actually, the other month.
Again? No.
Mazda B Ranger. She's dead. But it's like on
man.
the flip side, I get to take that engine out and I get to put a new one in later on and work on my mechanic skills. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know. I just find that's an important thing to keep on in life. Is just like there's always going to be a positive.
Mhm.
I like how this turned from a podcast to therapy.
Full on therapy podcast.
Full on therapy podcast.
Yeah, there's always lessons that you can learn from situations. Like
Yeah.
obviously there's some situations that could be extremely bad, but
Yeah.
for the most part, like 99% of situations, there's always a positive to something
Oh yeah.
lying beneath.
It's
within.
counterbalance of life.
Exactly.
Life. Speaking of life, I cannot wait to go to Moose Jaw.
Moose Jaw would sound pretty sick.
D-Day.
D-Day.
D-Day. You know what I'm talking about?
Not really.
Not really.
I have no idea.
Well, I don't know if I want to talk about that yet, though. I kind of just want to talk about D-Day. Like, not like the actual World War II D-Day. I mean, like, no, I can't spoil it. Never mind. People, some of you guys might know what, nah, it's Bumblebee.
Oh, shit.
Some of you guys might know what I'm talking about when I say D-Day, like in Moose Jaw, not like World War II. And, like, you'll be like, oh, yeah, like, it's D-Day. Like, Carter, if you watch this, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. We were there.
D-Day.
But,
D-Day.
D-Day,
Now I
yes.
know what
Yeah,
you
now
mean.
you know, and now you know.
Yeah.
That's related to Moose Jaw. That'd almost be cool to go to Moose Jaw when that happens.
Yeah, get some GoPros strapped
Make a
on.
big experience out of it. That, yeah.
It'd be fun.
I'm. Well, now you know, so I might as well. Okay, so like in Moose Jaw, there's this really big paintball course, and basically you can go and play paintball there. And every year they do this thing called D-Day, and me and my buddy Carter Matichuk went on one time, and it was quite the experience. Like 400 or 500 people, and like one side's the beach and one side's defending, and it's like literally feels like war. Like people are putting. Like, there's big explosions legitimately happening in the background. Like they have an actual explosive expert that went out there and made actual explosions in the background. Like, you could see a mushroom up and there's fireworks going off. And
War never changes.
War never changes. That game was a good game.
Follow it.
That was a good game.
But is it comparative to, like, actual war, do you think? If, like, you were to plan it in your head. Like, what would be, like, paintball war? Is that, like, the best of the best, do you think? The Moose Jaw D-Day?
I really don't know. I've never been to war. I mean, but like
That's true.
Like, I've never been to war, but I mean, it seemed real.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely hurt. I remember one time I got peppered. We were it was towards the end of the match, and me and a couple people, we took a little squad, and we had to try to reclaim this flag at the top of this hill. We took out a couple people, but I remember because on the other side of the hill was a team, like the entire team, pretty much. I got shot from every angle possible, and I was hurt in places I didn't know existed. So it was like. Ouch. Definitely hurt. Definitely hurt. That's for sure. But it was a good experience. I think it's I think it's kind of close to what real war would have been. I mean, like, we actually made tactics. Like, we actually used our radios. Like, we
Plan things out.
yeah, like, it was actually like, it felt kind of like we were in a war zone.
Did you flank somebody?
Yeah, we did a bunch of that stuff. There was a bunch of fun stuff that we did doing that. Like, it was, I don't know. I feel like it was like a, I don't know.
Like a private?
Saving Private Stu. I don't
Coming
know.
soon to a theater near you.
No, it felt really fun. I felt like I was like freaking commando, but like I got shot lots in the beginning. Towards the end, it was kind of cool. Like, we held down a barn and stuff like that. But seriously though, you guys gotta like seriously check that out. I forget the name of the place. I think it's Prairie Thunder, but like cool. That's a very, very cool paintball course. Very cool.
I bet, yeah.
Yeah. So what do you figure?
I figure maybe it's time to wrap this one up.
Yeah.
First episode in the books. First of hopefully many. That'd be nice.
That would be really nice. I mean, like, we like I said, I've been saying it so many times throughout this entire first episode. I'm very excited for the things we got planned. I'm very excited for the events we're going to do. Like, from traveling to talking about what we've done in the past to talking about current events. You know, like social like, what was it? So what's that class? Social studies, current events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
History 20.
Current
30.
history 20 with us Pouch. Current events.
Oh, that's so good.
Okay, yeah, but anyways,
Guess that does it. It's fair enough.
Fair enough.
Peace
Peace
out,
out.
homies.
Take her easy. Have a good one.